There wasn't a moment when I just decided that climate change was real. It was more like a process. I think I had to come to the conclusion that a thermometer is not Republican, a thermometer is not Democrat. This issue is not blue or red. This issue is really green. I serve as the lead pastor of Church Without Religion here in West Texas. I've been here a decade. I came here in 2005. My passion is to communicate this message of God's grace and God's love and really see people who sometimes have been hurt by church or, just through misunderstanding what the Bible's really about. One of my key goals is really to help people by showing them the love and grace of God. Catherine and I met at University of Illinois. We were both in graduate school. She was getting her master's in atmospheric sciences, and I was getting my PhD in linguistics. And we met in that graduate group. What drew me to her, maybe without even realizing it at first, I just felt that she was concerned about people in the room who didn't have friends yet. She would reach out to them. She cared for everybody and somehow made time for, it seems like, everybody. It's just that humble concern for other people. That's really what drew me to her.
What I love about Andrew is he's never boring. He is not what you would expect when you meet either a linguistics professor or a pastor.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Andrew Farley Live. This is Andrew Farley, and we are live across the United States and Canada for the next hour.
Andrew's really smart. Anybody who has a PhD in applied linguistics, anybody who was an endowed chair at the University of Notre Dame at the age of 27 has to be pretty smart. He's also a committed Christian. He also believes very strongly in the role and the importance of God in our lives, and he is a very funny person.
If you've been thumbing through the Bible, God, what's your will? What's your will? Apparently he's saying, this is my will. Right there in black and white, he's saying, this is my will for you.
When we met, I think that we thought we had more in common than we did. Coming from Canada, I had never met anybody who didn't think climate change was real.
I didn't grow up believing that many environmental concerns were real or that they were truthful or accurate.
Changing anybody's mind is definitely a process. So even today, there's still things that we talk about, but what about this solution or that solution, or how could we actually tackle this problem without compromising people's values? But the watershed moment probably was when the tide turned, was when we went together to NASA's website and he downloaded the temperature data from NASA.
That was a big deal. Just seeing NASA's website, global average temperature, looking at the graph and realizing, look, it goes up. These are thermometers that are all over the world at weather stations. These are weather records and farmers' almanacs and weather stations around the world.
As a scientist, if we are doing science that is relevant to people, then it's important that people know the results of what we do. But more and more, as I've grown to recognize the overwhelming importance of this issue of climate change, how it isn't just about conserving our resources, it's about preventing dangerous impacts on the planet and on people, especially people who are already suffering today. People who are poor, people who don't have the advantages that we have, they're the ones who are already feeling the heat today. And so the more I've recognized why climate change is so important, why doing something about it is so essential to us as humans as well as to our faith if we're Christians, the more I've realized that telling people about this issue, bringing it up to the level of our consciousness where we know this is really important. In fact, how can we feel like we're really expressing Christ's love to the world if we are saying, oh, climate change isn't real when it's harming real people?
It's so rare to find a Christian climate scientist, and that's what Catherine brings to the table. And I'm fortunate to be married to her. What I love about Catherine is that she's not Republican and she's not Democrat. She's Canadian. I look to Catherine and I say, she's not trying to be an economist. She's not trying to be a politician. She simply has one message, that she's a climate scientist, that climate change is real, and that as a Christian, we should really care about that.
There are gospel-given reasons to celebrate Jesus, and those reasons can't be robbed. We can't be robbed of them. Those reasons can't be taken from us. Now, not just as
It really doesn't matter what background we're from, what perspective we come from. What we do share is our Christian faith. And so at Church Without Religion, we have been connecting with Christians all over the world that all want to communicate this love and grace of God.